Coming up on UT 10 News, neo-Nazis were back in downtown Toledo.
And we'll also look into the university's largest dance marathon.
Plus, Zeinab Cheaib was downtown for the Walleyes playoff matchup with Wheeling. Your news in 10 minutes starts now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Katie Kerekes.
And I'm Devan Lutz.
It has been 10 years since riots broke out in Toledo when the neo-Nazis came to town.
Reporter Andrew Kurtz was at the National Socialist rally at One Government Center.
In 2005, 114 arrests were made with charges including burglary, felonious assault, and carrying a concealed weapon. In preparation for this year's rally, Toledo increased security as a precaution. City and state police were brought in for crowd control and protection. Who they were protecting remains unclear to Toledo citizens, causing concern about the use of taxpayer dollars.
We shouldn't be spending this money for cops to protect Nazis from us. Maybe spending this money to protect us from Nazis.
The increased man hours is estimated to have cost the city over $100,000. The rally itself was much more peaceful than that of 2005. Only one person was arrested, which came after the end of the rally. The hostile crowd chanted and yelled profanities, but no violence broke out. Some attendees even defended the Nazis' right to be there, though they disagree with their message.
I mean, everyone has their freedom of speech. I mean, if people don't like who they are, then I don't feel like people should come down here to entertain it.
The one thing that we can be proud of as Toledo citizens is we were able to keep the peace this weekend. I'm Andrew Kurtz for UT 10 News.
Impaired driving takes the life of one American every 51 seconds. Over 300 students watched a mock car accident and saw the consequences of drinking and driving up close. Staged at Carter Field, the fake accident helps first responders show the devastating effects of an alcohol-related fatality. The impaired driver was then tried at McQuaid Auditorium and found guilty of vehicular homicide.
The research states that alcoholism, underage drinking, impaired driving, things of that nature are still a major public health concern amongst university students, and particularly Greek students.
The two-part event was hosted by the University Counseling Center in conjunction with the Pi Beta Phi sorority. A local high school is building equipment for NASA and the International Space Station. A class at Bedford High School in Temperance, Michigan has been contracted to build special lockers. The students have been given the materials and will be mentored through this process by a NASA official.
They're going to be holding experiments, they're going to be holding supplies, they're going to be holding things that basically are going to be going back and forth between, the Earth and the space station.
The lockers will be sent to the space station within the next calendar year. Over 23,000 Ohioans are currently living with HIV. For the first time in 5 years, Toledo hosted AIDS Walk Ohio to raise awareness and funds for HIV and AIDS organizations. This past Saturday, nearly 150 Toledoans came out to International Park to walk and run for the cause.
It's a bit of a misconception nowadays that AIDS and HIV are not a problem anymore because there are treatment methods for them. Just because it's treatable doesn't mean that everybody's getting the treatment that they need.
The walk raised just under $15,000, which will go to local treatment centers.
A unique event has come back to campus for the first time since 2009. Reporter David Duffy checked it out.
The Stumpfest made it back to campus last Friday in the Savage Arena. The competition involved the Divine Nine organizations where they participated in the art of stepping by making a drum-like sound with their hands and feet. There were a total of 11 judges, 9 judges from Greek and 2 from student involvement. Only 2 fraternities and 1 sorority participated, Alpha Phi Alpha, Iota Phi Theta, and Theta Sigma Theta. The whole Divine Nine could not participate in the competition, so 2 high school step teams took over to take their place.
Where, we couldn't get all of D9 organizations, so we definitely had to fill the time slot some way.
During intermission, the Divine Nine entertained the crowd by strolling. The head count was around 700. The prize for first place was $1,500 and for second, $1,000. But first place was Alpha Phi Alpha and Theta Sigma Theta came in second.
10% of the funds from the Stumpfest goes towards the Rockathon. I'm David Duffy reporting from UT 10 News.
The dancing continued through the weekend. Reporter Angelique Baird looked into UT's largest dance marathon.
For 13 hours on Saturday, 1,010 students from 30 different university organizations were on their feet for UT's Rockathon. Held in Savage Arena, the dance marathon raised funds and support for the children and families of the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, specifically Mercy Children's Hospital in Toledo.
This event is so much more than just a 13-hour standing marathon. We're we're making miracles happen. And that's my ultimate biggest goal. That's what I want the most from this event, is that everybody truly understands what it means for the kids.
Every hour, student participants were taught a piece of an 8-minute-long dance by event organizers and miracle children from the local community. In addition to dancing, students had the opportunity to interact with miracle families and listen to their stories of how the Children's Miracle Network has impacted their lives.
You get to actually put a face to the families that are in need here in Toledo, and the way the dancers take upon the kids and just act like they're normal kids. It's just exciting to see.
At the end of the 13 hours, the dancers' wristbands were cut off to symbolize the children's release from the hospital.
This year's Rockathon raised over $106,000, all of which will benefit the local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I'm Angelique Baird for UT10 News.
It was a big weekend for both Rocket and pro sports in Toledo. The UT baseball team faced Northern Illinois Huskies, and the Toledo Walleye took on Wheeling in the playoffs. But first, Cody Connally headed downtown on Thursday for the Mud Hens' return to Fifth Third Field.
Every year on Mud Hens opening day, the streets of Toledo are transformed into a giant block party to kick off the new season. This year, downtown really had a reason to party as Toledo held a T-Town tripleheader. First, the Mud Hens doubleheader against the Columbus Clippers, followed by the Walleye taking on the Wheeling Nailers in a playoff matchup.
The bars, the activities, things like that, that's great. So, opening day, even with a little rain, it's not a problem.
Toledo fell to Columbus in Game 1, but came back with a 3-2 win in the second game. However, for some Toledoans, opening day is about more than just the game itself.
The community and the people who come out, being with my dad and my friends.
Over 12,500 people showed up for Mud Hens opening day. I'm Cody Connally with UT10 News.
From the grass over to the ice in the Huntington Center, the Toledo Walleye were back in action Saturday night. After falling 3-2 on Thursday, the Walleye would hammer the Nailers in Game 2. Things were physical from the start, with no shortage of penalties. Wheeling took control of the first period, getting past Lurk to go up 1-0. In the third, Cody Lample ties the game with this goal. That's where the momentum would shift for Toledo. It would be Troy Schwab getting the game-winning goal for the Walleye in overtime to take the 2-1 victory. The best of the three series are now tied at 1 game apiece.
So I talked to the guys after the second, don't get frustrated, get hungrier, stay on task. We'll get a bounce, we'll get a goal. We're able to make a play in overtime and get the big win.
It's a new season, so all the records get thrown out. We know they're a good team. We never think that we're the underdog. We always go in there thinking that we're going to win every game.
Game 3 of the series will be tomorrow night at Wheeling. From downtown over to Scott Park, the UT Rockets baseball team took on Northern Illinois in a doubleheader. The Rockets shut out NIU in Game 1, 4-0. Toledo was first on the board in the second game, scoring the first inning, but the Huskies would get their offense going in the second as Alex Smith gets on base right here. In the seventh, UT would score twice with help from shortstop Deion Tansel taking the pitch off his left knee. Don't worry, folks, he would run it off and stay in the game. But the Huskies would get one win as Justin Fletcher dives in the run in the ninth inning. The Rockets headed to East Lansing today to take on Michigan State. Just feet away from the baseball diamond, the softball team was playing a doubleheader of their own. The Rockets would trail Ohio early by 3 runs. In the sixth, UT would make its move and take Game 1 4-3. In Game 2, UT would jump out to 1-run lead in the fifth. This time, Ohio would run from behind as the Rockets dropped the second game 3-2.
Thanks, Zeinab. That's it for UT10 News. For the latest breaking news from campus and bios from all UT10 reporters, go to our website, ut10news.com.
And remember, you can watch the live stream of our newscast production every Tuesday morning at 10:30 on our YouTube channel. For Devan Lutz, Zeinab Cheaib, and all of our crew, I'm Katie Kerekes. Have a great week and stay tuned for more news from the UT campus.